What is the Big Bang? Has the universe a beginning, or was it here since forever? Well, evidence suggests that there was indeed a starting point to this universe we are part of right now. But how can this be? How can something come from nothing? And what about time? The Big Bang is a leading solution about how the universe began. The theory of the Big Bang itself talks about the universe starting as a small, dense, hot speck, then growing over the next 13.8 billion years to the cosmos that we know today. The moment the universe started expanding is what is commonly known as the Big Bang. It is believed that when the universe was in a hot, dense state, it suddenly started to expand, and time came to be what we know today as a universe. Rather than one gigantic explosion, think of the Big Bang as an ongoing expansion, sort of like blowing up a balloon very slowly. It keeps getting bigger, and all parts of the balloon expand equally. So, how do I scientifically explain the expansion? After all, science fact does require proof. Proof number 1 is Hubble's law. Galaxies are moving away from us at speeds proportional to their distance from us. In other words, the edges of the universe are expanding outward at the same speed. Thus, there must be a center. Note, we are not it. Proof number 2 is remnant heat from the initial energy expansion that has been measured. Wow, we have actually found leftover energy from 13.7 billion years ago. Finally, proof number 3 is hydrogen and helium. The original elements have been detected in all parts of the universe. All this stuff must have come from one spot, or so logic suggests. Since the Big Bang was said to be very hot at the beginning, scientists look for some remainder today of this heat. 3 minutes after the Big Bang, the first atoms were created out of hydrogen and helium bonded with electrons. When this happened, there was so much energy and heat that light occupied every corner of the universe. Scientists call the remains of this explosion cosmic microwave radiation. If you turn on an untuned radio or TV, a very tiny part of that buzzing sound is from the radiation created 13.7 billion years ago. There are quite a few misconceptions people have about the Big Bang Theory. Here are just some clarifications. Number 1. The Big Bang is not an explosion, as the name may suggest. It is an expansion of the universe from a single dense point. In diagrams, you may see matter flying out from a single point like an explosion. However, it is actually space that is expanding and dragging matter along with it. Think of it as paperclips on a rubber band. When you stretch the rubber band, the paperclips seem to move farther away from each other, although they are still in the same spot. Number 2. The Big Bang is not the beginning. If the Big Bang was the beginning, then what caused the Big Bang? Although it has not yet been discovered, there must have been something before the Big Bang that caused the sudden expansion, and it is very likely that the Big Bang was not the very beginning of the universe. To better understand this difficult idea, a good analogy is raisin bread baking in an oven. The raisins occupy more or less fixed positions in the dough. As the bread bakes, the dough expands, carrying the raisins along with it. A wrong way to interpret this analogy to the Big Bang Theory is to think of the dough and raisins as the matter expanding into the pre-existing space of the oven. But the correct way to view the analogy is to think of the bread dough as being space and raisins as the matter. As the bread bakes, the dough expands carrying the raisins, just as space expands carrying all the matter along with it. The hard thing for people to grasp is that there is no space outside of the dough. There is no oven for the dough to expand into, so the explosion we speak of is not of matter expanding into space, but of space itself expanding. So why is the Big Bang so significant? Well, it describes the way the universe actually is. It's sort of like asking why the map of the Earth is important, because it describes the Earth we live on. You can have plenty of maps of fantasy worlds, but they won't help in explaining where the countries of the world are. You can have plenty of theories about how the universe was formed and evolved, but it appears that the Big Bang Theory is the most evident one. Since ancient times, it's wondered how us humans came to be. Tales that try to explain the existence of mankind and our universe have been passed down for generations. With the revolution of science and technology that we have now to discover more about the Big Bang Theory, we are one step closer to finding an answer to the questions of the beginning of us and the beginning of the universe.